Hi folks, it is, I don't know, sometime Sunday morning. I haven't actually looked at the clock in a little while. I couldn't sleep, and rather than trying to do some of my consulting work, which requires me to have uh, a better degree of rest and a little bit more clarity, I actually just came down here and spent the last hour or so just kind of futzing around, and I managed to cut all the necessary strips and get some wiring work done. So as you can see here, let's see, I think there might be a spot of dirt on this track here, but let's see if I can't get it to show now. Yep, there we go. Okay, so as you can see, I have a good deal of power running throughout the layout. And again, this doesn't remotely take care of everything that needs to be done at this point, but I did manage to get the entirety of the yard ladder wholly worked out, and there is power going to all of the stub tracks. It's a little bit uneven, but power is going to all of the stub tracks, and I have managed to get a little bit more functionality in place for running. So it's not like this suddenly means, oh hey, we're all done. Not even close, not by a long shot. This is just probably the more intensive section for wiring at this point, but it's nice to be able to say that, yep, I have probably the most complicated part, other than where the double crossover is, wired up, and I can actually fully go from the yard all the way around to the station. So, yippee. That pretty much finishes off the wiring for this section of the layout. I have a little bit more that I may do. I haven't decided for sure yet if I'm going to add some feeders into this section over here right along all of these turnouts. I have to give that one a little bit of thought, and I'm probably going to put some additional feeders for here, and here when I get to this board. But as I said, by and large, this section is done, and that's kind of exciting because that means that I really am making some significant progress. I won't be doing anything with it tomorrow, or rather today, because as I said, I have a bunch of work to do for my consulting, and I got to make sure I turn my attention to that, back to that rather. But this is something that I could do for a little bit while I couldn't sleep. So that's it for now. Oh, I'll show you the underside where the wiring is done. So there's my feeders. Those are all the that's the station stuff, and right over there is all the work for the yard stubs. So there's some hanging wires here that are going to get stapled up and locked into place, or if need be, when I'm done, they may get shortened a little bit, but that's still progress. Cleaning it up and trimming it up when I'm done, it'll be just a little bit of work by comparison to what's happened so far. So again, that'll probably be it for the next few days at least, because I have other things I need to focus on. But I just figured I'd share that update that, yep, I made significant progress. Yep, that really excites me, and if you've been following along, hopefully that's kind of exciting for you too. Incidentally, I am trying to get more stuff out there on both my website, gregoworski.com, and of course I'm going to continue posting stuff to YouTube. I also post to a number of groups on Facebook. It's pretty much all the same stuff, but I just like to share as much as I have done with other members of the hobby, and hopefully this will inspire some other people too. I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination on any of the things being used to build this layout. I'm an amateur woodworker at best, though I managed to build the tables you've seen through several videos here. I'm pretty much a novice at soldering, maybe a little bit better than that. I have some experience with programming hardware, so when I get to the necessary steps, my experience with that will help with building my own turnout control system and down the line a signaling system. But I'm not any sort of like major expert on any of this, but that should just show you, if you really want to do this stuff, you can. You don't need to be some sort of expert, and you don't want to use that as an excuse for why you're not doing it. The way you gain the experience and the way you become better at doing something is to do it, perhaps make a couple mistakes and learn something from it, and share what you're doing. A few people have said to me recently, oh, I was planning on doing a layout, then I see your layout and it's large, and yes, it's large, but it was also 10 years of planning to get here, and saving for it and buying the parts for it whenever I could spare some money, which hasn't always been the case. But don't let that be a reason. Don't be intimidated by it. There are a lot of people that have bigger layouts than me, and that should serve as a spark of inspiration. Start with something small, do something little, and build from there. And if you have the space, if you have the resources, before long you can get to something like this too. As I said, it's not the biggest layout in the world. It's not the smallest layout in the world. It's just the layout that I wanted, and it makes me happy. So hopefully this, inspires some people to get out there and do the same thing. Get in there and enjoy the hobby. That's the whole point. So that's it for now. Have a great evening or day, whichever it is for you. And hopefully I'll be able to talk to you again soon.